Hey guys, here I am reporting to you again from the edge of my bed because I like filming here the best. The lighting's pretty good. And I wanted to give you guys a quick sort of spiel on the power of relationships in internet marketing. And if many of you are just starting out, you may think that internet marketing is not like the traditional workplace where relationships arguably are everything. You've probably heard the expression, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Since you're working from home and you're working by yourself, you may think that internet marketing is more of a solitary venture, and it is more based on what you know and not who you know. Well, today I'm going to argue the point that that is not the case at all. It is, in fact, who you know, just like it is in any other venture, and I will give you an example of that. When I was first starting out, I was not struggling to get clients. I was able to get clients through my Warriors for Hire ad, you know, in the less expensive range. In fact, the first sales letter I ever wrote was for $97, and that ended up being a #1 ClickBank letter, so that's a little annoying, but that aside, you know, I did a lot of work to make money. Like, I had to physically produce a lot of letters in order to pay my rent. And then I went to the Warrior event in Raleigh, North Carolina, and everything changed because I met who would go on to be one of my best clients, Tim Castleman, there. And because we met in the flesh, and if you don't know Tim, he has sort of an out there, in-your-face sense of humor, and that's sort of the sense of humor I have, so we just clicked and became friends. And you end up wanting to work with people who you like, who you jive with, who you can have fun with while being productive, while getting work done. And then through him, I was able to meet other people who you may, you know, whose names you may recognize, like Brian Johnson and Maria Gadelis, and like all these people who would go on to become my clients. Not only would they go on to become my clients, but they would go on to become my higher paying clients, because they're more successful than I am. They have the money to invest in good copy. They see the value in the service I deliver. So I was able to start charging the premium fees that I charge today for my service. Now, could that have happened if I didn't go meet and mingle and network with people? Maybe. But it definitely wouldn't have happened as quickly, and it may not have happened at all. So relationships are key to this business, just like they are any other business. If you create a product and instead of but working with Google through SEO, SEO slavery, as I like to call it, working really hard, you know, you could take a lot of time and a lot of expense to get you to the top of Google, or you can drive targeted traffic by having a buddy who has a list and saying to him, hey, I have a great offer for your list, mail this out for me. Boom, you can get thousands of people who are interested in what you're selling, make way more money much faster. So having said that, relationships are one of the biggest keys to internet marketing, and that really doesn't get talked about. How do you go about building these relationships, especially if you don't have the ability, time, or resources to go to a live networking event like the Warrior event that I went to? Well, you can always reach out to people via email, even writing a hand letter, a personal letter, connecting with people via Skype, social media, and instead of just, you know, messaging a stranger, asking them to do you a favor, hey, mail my offer for me, always present value to them. What can you do for them? What can you give them? How can you help? When I met Tim, I wrote his first sales letter at a bargain, much, much less than I charge now, because I wanted to provide value to him, and then he can go ahead and happily recommend me to his friends, refer me to other people, and so on and so forth. But the only way you're going to get people to want to do that is if you provide massive value to them. So you can provide this value by offering to review a product of theirs, maybe writing a blog post for them, or shooting a video review. That's something I like to do for my friends when they have a product that I like. I love to get on camera and shoot a video review for them, because for most, that is more fun and interactive than just reading another written review. If you know a little bit about one of your internet marketing gurus or people you follow, if you know something that they like, you can go ahead and send them a small gift in the mail. You know, value doesn't always have to be a service, and it's not really bribery, but it's more of a creative way of getting in the door with these people. And these are the exact same techniques you would use networking in other industries as well. So don't be afraid to extend yourself and put yourself out there and make your best effort to connect with other people, because it's those connections that can elevate your success quicker than any course, quicker than most other investments can. You want to leverage your relationships. So instead of taking the time to think, what can I do myself individually to grow my business, take a little time every day to ask yourself, who can I connect with? How can I provide value to them that will in turn help me grow my business? I hope this tip was helpful for you, and I'm always excited to shoot more videos for you. If you have any requests, any questions, go ahead and ask. It would make my day to help you out and answer them, and I'm sure we'll talk soon. Bye. Hey guys, Laura Catella here, enjoying a beer on this beautiful Monday afternoon. And no, I'll admit I don't normally drink beer sitting at the edge of my bed, but I do normally have one beer in the afternoon a couple days out of the week, just because that is the life that the internet marketing lifestyle can afford me, and that is the life I want my followers, friends, and anybody who wants this sort of life, freedom and flexibility to have. So now we got beer explanation out of the way. Let me talk about this incredible product I found that I think is going to work like gangbusters in conjunction with your Total AdSense Annihilation course, which you purchased from Eric Nelson and myself. I hope you guys are working on building your AdSense niche sites and see how what I'm going to speak about very quickly is the perfect complement to that. My friend James Penn has discovered the coolest, neatest little trick, little twist on something that you're already doing that will generate you free, targeted, virtually instant traffic. Okay, now I know that sounds like a whole lot, and those are probably terms you hear all the time, so let me break it down for you. Free, it's actually free. You don't have to pay for anything. You just have to do one thing you're already doing, which is creating content, writing blog posts, reviews, what have you, and then he gives you one little twist, one little new technique to doing that actually makes the process of writing easier, because it gives the content to you that you're going to write about, and then you get the targeted traffic because you're doing this within your niche, you're connecting with authority site owners in your niche, you're going to leverage their following, their Facebook users, their Twitter users, all of that to bring you quick traffic. You can literally, not virtually, literally see results from this within hours after writing your blog post or having one of your virtual assistants write your blog post for you. It is so neat. I am definitely going to be doing this myself for my sites. It doesn't matter what type of sites you own, even my copywriting service. I would do this to bring targeted, free traffic to it and to build a relationship with those authority sites. Now, I know what you may be thinking. Oh, yeah, there's no way it's going to be as easy as Laura makes it sound to be buddies with these authority site owners. People bother them all the time. Not true. That's what James's little twist on how you create content is all about. It's about having them instantly notice you and instantly wanting to work with you, because you're going to help them as much as they help you, and it is so neat. It is such a neat trick, totally worth figuring out and getting your hands on. Like I said, I'm going to be using this myself, and I will deliver you a case study as soon as I'm done, but I didn't want you to wait until I went through all of that when you can get it at the lowest investment price it's available for right now. So go ahead, check out James's entire story. It's a very cool one about how he sort of stumbled upon this idea, and he shows you the quick results and flood of traffic that he got from it, which is exactly what you want on your AdSense niche sites that you're building. So I think this is a perfect complement. Check it out right now, and I'll talk with you very, very, very soon. Enjoy your afternoon.
Hey you guys, today I'm going to answer a question about sales letters that I get asked a lot. And in answering this question, it's really not just going to help your copywriting and your sales letters, but it's going to help all of your marketing material, all of your branding and positioning strategy. It's going to really make things easier. So let me answer that question right now. The question is, What's the most important thing about a sales letter? What's the one thing you really got to nail in order to make it convert highly and be really successful? And to pick any one particular element is a drastic oversimplification of that question. It really wouldn't help you at all if I were to just pick one of the very important things and talk about it. So what I've done is chosen the 3 most important elements of a sales letter: an autoresponder series, a solo ad, a squeeze page, your bio, every public post you make about yourself, everything that can affect your entire marketing strategy and make it so easy. We're going to start with the hook. And there's been a lot of, I feel, complicating of the concept of a hook, where it's really, really simple. So from now on, every time you think about a hook for your business or one of your letters or one of your other pieces of copy, I want you to literally think of a fishing line with a hook at the end. The hook is that which catches the fish. It's that one enticing thing that's going to make your prospect absorb the rest of your marketing material. So you have to decide, what is this scintillating tidbit? Think the cover of an Inquirer magazine, but less sleazy, right? But just that same level of intrigue, like, I have to read more about this. I have to watch this video. I have to know what this is about. So for a couple of examples, you can draw from your own personal story in order to find a hook. One sales letter that I did recently, we used the fact that my client used to sell items at flea markets, and he used to even sell urinals and toilets. So former urinal salesman, now one of the most sought after coaches online, responsible for helping thousands of people create their own at-home businesses. That's something that people are going to want to read more about, that intriguing turnaround, them being able to relate with the urinal salesman or just somebody who was doing something they did not want to be doing. Another place you can come up with a hook is by using some amazing, outstanding results of the product itself. A lot of people love using that as a hook because it's really benefit rich, and then it forces people to keep reading. If you look at some of Don Wilson's results with FB ads cracked and people are just bringing in these insane life-changing amounts of money, that in itself is of a hook. If you are fortunate enough to have incredible stats, or even stats much less incredible than that, but still life-changing and significant, starting to make $1,000 a month from home, you can use that and massage it and punch up the language as a basis for your hook. The second most important element of all of your branding material is your USP. That's your unique selling proposition. And while the hook can be more about you and an interesting story or results without detailing exactly how, your USP is that unique thing about your product. And it really should be easy for you to know your USP, because that should be the reason that you created the product in the first place. You saw this hole in the market, you knew something needed to be fulfilled, and so you created this product to fill this hole. That's what's unique about it. No other product was filling that hole. What I want you to do is, before you start ever writing any piece of copy or anything about yourself or your product, you take a piece of paper, you write one hook, and you write a couple of ideas for your hook, or if you have one that you already are completely in love with, then you write that down. You do the same thing with your USP, and you do the same thing with the third most important elements of all of this stuff that I'm going to tell you about in a second. You keep that piece of paper with you whenever you're about to write anything, and you look back to that, and that's going to be able to so easily inspire every single thing you write, every question you answer. The third most important thing about all of your marketing materials, and this one is more specific to sales letters and anything direct response where you immediately want somebody to sign up, buy a product, order a service, what have you, is your offer. An irresistible offer is irresistible. So you have to nail down whatever you can do to make your offer, if you will permit me one cliche, is make it a no-brainer offer. That can be through your pricing. You can use urgency, scarcity, and rarity elements in order to make this an irresistible offer. I have to have it right now, or it's going to go away, or the price is going to go up, or I'm going to miss out on these bonuses. use all of those elements within crafting your offer and make it irresistible. Add your offer to your list of your 3 most important things, and even if this is just for more general inspiration and not a specific sales letter, just think about the types of offers you're going to have in the future. How are you going to separate those offers from everything else in the market and make them irresistible? Are you going to do a lot of scarcity flash sales like I do in my personal business? Are you going to give massive value for a relatively inexpensive price like a lot of my clients do? There are just so many ways to leverage your offers and make them irresistible, and I gotta have this thing right now. So write that down on your list of 3 things and keep that with you by your side at your desk all the time. You can always update them. You can always create a new one for a new branch of your business or a new product. And just think about how easy it's going to be for you to write a headline now that you have these 3 things right there and you have the words you know you're going to play with and put together to create some awesome, compelling, profitable sales material. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I can talk about this stuff for a long time. I really want to create one of these videos every week, you guys. So if you give me more questions, I can create more videos. It'll help me know what you guys want to learn about, and I can tell you all about it. So thank you so much for watching. Again, let me know your questions right down there, and I will see you next week. Bye.
Hey everyone, Laura Catella from the copypoet.com here, and this video was requested by Mark from idealjoltmarketing.com, and I decided to separate it into 6 quick tips on compelling copy using punchy talk and interesting, not stiff, not boring. So the very first thing that I want to make clear to everybody is that all writing is in fact copywriting. If you're doing affiliate reviews, resumes, if you're debating in an email with your friends, anytime you're writing to prove a point, which is nearly all the time, you are in fact copywriting. So regardless of the scope of how much you write in your career, I hope that the information you're about to learn is useful to you and can help make copywriting a little bit more fun. So the first real tip is to write to your best friend. And this means saying things like you, because you're only speaking to one person, which is each and every individual reader who reads your stuff. You're speaking only to them and nobody else, and they are your friend. So you know what they like, you know what they don't like, you know what they want, just like you do with your friends. And you want to tell them that by saying things like you'll really love, or I know such and such stresses you out. This builds rapport, it makes your writing clear and compelling. Don't curse, but almost curse. Now, if you don't want to even almost curse, you certainly don't have to, but since this was on Punchy Talk, I figured I would include my sort of method for that. First things first, profanity can put people off, and it's not necessary. You don't need to risk losing a customer just because you curse, because you will not gain that customer otherwise. So you can avoid it. But you can toe the line to show your passion and to be compelling and show that you are no nonsense. So a couple of almost curses that I tend to use are things like BS, crap, frickin', sucks, damn. Again, that's just to help build a conversational tone to establish rapport, but at the same time, you're not out and out being offensive and cursing. So tip number 4 is to cut, trim as much as you can, and avoid the passive voice. Shorter is punchier by definition. If you can get your point across in less words, it'll be all the more hard-hitting. So we want to make sure when we're going through our sales pieces or whatever pieces we have and we're looking to cut, that we get rid of garbage words that don't convey anything and don't further the point. You want to steer clear of the passive voice and the verb to be. Now here's an example of doing all of those things. This is an actual headline that I read in a sales letter, and I feel like I have to read it to you or else you just won't want to finish reading it on your own because it's really, really bad. Using this simple software, I can produce huge paychecks by ranking high up Google for some of the most competitive keywords in the world. Woof. Okay, so this headline is long for no good reason. There's a lot of extra junk in there that doesn't compel, doesn't convey value, doesn't raise interest, doesn't do any of that stuff. The word using in the very beginning is in the passive voice, and it just sounds awkward. This headline talks about the product creator. It doesn't talk about me, the potential customer. There are no service statements. No curiosity is raised whatsoever. And it is full of the garbage words that I talked about a second ago. So here are some of them. Using this, don't need it, doesn't tell me anything. I can produce, doesn't tell me anything. For some of the most, that is definitely the most garbagey part. And in the don't need them, we can cut them. So how do I transform that headline into a good one? I'll show you. We cut all the garbage words. Here is our bad headline again. So we're going to cut all the garbage words. We're going to talk about our potential customer because they're most interested in themselves. Therefore, I am most interested in them too. I hope that makes sense. And we're going to remove risk and convey value. So watch. Here's the headline. Stupidly simple software will pocket you huge paychecks guaranteed. With the subhead, and imagine #1 Google rankings for the world's most competitive keywords too. So I have one simple question for you. Which of these two headlines, or rather headline and a subheadline, which interests you more? I guarantee that 99.9, maybe even 100, pretty bold on this one, % of people would be more interested in the bottom because I'm talking about you, I'm conveying value, I'm removing risk, and with that subheadline, I'm building interest, and I am creating an image for you that you can easily visualize, which is that #1 spot in Google with your website on it. So that is an example of taking a bad headline, cutting the garbage words, making it a service statement, and removing the passive voice, and boom, you have a headline that is literally about 5,000 times. Step number 5. If something you write pushes your own buttons, I encourage you to leave it in. And that means to go a little bit out of your comfort zone. And I had to, work on this for a while when I was first starting out too, writing things like, admit it, you're sick of the BS. That would make me feel, well, should I really write that? Should I be so stark? And after, time and practice, I've learned, yes, you should absolutely be that stark and leave that stuff in. Go for it. And the way to make sure that it isn't too harsh is by following the 6th and final step, which is do not sacrifice believability. Okay, under no circumstances. Punchy and hyperbolic are not the same. Notice how every example of punchy language that I've given you thus far is still believable. You're not saying anything ridiculous or incredulous or anything like that. Avoid hyperbole at all costs. It's not believable, people don't buy it. Here's an example. If you return to find a higher price, you'll feel pretty crappy. Okay, little punchy and believable. That's probably true. If you wanted this product and you come back and you see it's double the price, you're not going to feel so good. Sure, fine. And here's an example of hyperbolic, bad punchy, if you will. If you return to find a higher price, you'll cry yourself to sleep at night. Not true. Nobody's going to do it. Don't write it. So I've included as a bonus for you a really cool tool that I use for each and everything I write, and it's awesome. It is from this site, which is going to be funny for me to pronounce, aztekara.com/tools/tobeverbs.php, and that is a to-be verb analyzer. You copy your text in it, and it'll find all the times you use the passive voice in your writing, and then you'll see how easy it is to change and punch up your language once the software has spit out for you all of the times you're using the passive voice. And as you'll see down in the full article of this little lesson below, it actually caught a really good slip up I had in using the passive voice, which was when I said, you're really going to love. That going to is chunky and you don't need it. Instead, love should be the verb and not going to. So we can just cut going to and say, you'll really love blah, blah, blah. And it's that much more impactful and powerful that way. Anytime you can make the same point in fewer words, it's better. So that concludes this little video. I hope it's helpful for you. Hey everyone, Laura Catella from thecopypoet.com here, and I am going to go through some of my simple, easy tips to making an awesome, compelling, easy, nothing complicated, nothing fancy squeeze page. So I have an example of one that I just finished off for a client right here, and I'm going to take you through it. And I just want you to keep in mind that there are a variety of ways to do a squeeze page depending on the type of product you are giving away to those who opt in on your list. But most of these tips that I'm about to give you will carry over to any type of squeeze page, be it a video squeeze page or one with a different layout than this. The very first thing I want to talk about with you is having a compelling headline. That is the first thing most of the people who visit your squeeze page will read, and if you don't grab them with it, you stand a good chance of losing them as an opt-in. So the one we have here says, you are seconds away from losing your WordPress blog to a malicious hacker. And what immediately makes this line captivating is the very first word, you. There is no sweeter sounds to the ear than something that relates to you and what you want. I am here to talk about you and not me. And with this particular headline, I'm building a little bit of nervousness and fear. And if their WordPress blog, it's completely true and believable. If their WordPress blog is not protected, they are at risk of being hacked at any time. Now, we go into the sub-headline right underneath it, and I just wanted to note that I use those ellipses, those 3 dots for the eye to follow right into that sub-headline because it's really important. Free 6-part course will protect you now. So I'm telling them exactly what they're getting. I'm telling them it's free. I'm telling them it's in 6 parts. So, gosh, that's a lot of stuff for free, right? Sounds pretty good. And I'm telling them what it's going to do for them. Will protect you. Okay? You could say will protect your blog, will protect your site, but I like keeping it you because the end result is that this course will protect them and their important business investments like their websites. Now, the second part of the squeeze page I want you to think about is where your eye goes when you look at it. Now, even though I have a lot of text here on the left-hand side, my eye, after reading the headline, does not go there. My eye goes over here to the right, and yours probably did as well. I have this text bigger, it's in red, and it's more compelling and matched with a graphic. Want a worthwhile investment for free? That is a no-brainer yes question. No one in their right mind would answer no to that question. So that's the direction I'm leading them in with asking that. And then I show them the graphic image of what they're going to get. And again, this image has a lot of perceived value because they see they're getting both videos and newsletters. And then right underneath that, tell me where to send your totally free 6-part WordPress security course and the opt-in form. So based on this right-hand side of the page alone, there is a large percentage of people who would opt in right then and there. But for those who are a little bit more left-brained, which is to say they want to know a bit more of the details about everything, their eyes will come over here to the left side of the page, which gives them a bit more information about what exactly they'll get. So I say, in these videos and newsletters, you'll discover exactly. So again, I'm saying videos and newsletters. They're getting a lot of stuff, and I'm going to, in a compelling fashion, show them exactly what they're going to get. There's 6 parts, and so I have 6 bullets, 1 for each part. Stupidly simple first step you must take to protect your site. Miss this and you will regret it big time. So I'm making clear that it's easy. that you need to do it to protect your site, and with this parenthetical phrase, I'm including the end result if they don't get my product. You always want to remind them of the end result, the end benefit of them having your product, be it to save them time, money, stress, to make them money, to free up more time for them, or the end result if they don't get your product. So the reason they will regret it if they don't get on your opt-in list right now. Easy stuff alert, free plugins that will protect your site for you. Again, another service statement, what it'll do for them, and then automatically that end benefit of saved time and stress. What hackers steal that you're probably leaving on the table for them just builds a little bit of curiosity. It's like, well, what is available? What am I doing? And how to hide it now. Again, what you'll get. Newbie-friendly way to protect your back-end system files. Hackers touch these, your whole site is screwed. So again, there's a little bit of punchy language. If you're not entirely comfortable with that style, don't use it. It's very much my style because it keeps eyes glued to the page, makes you look no nonsense, and it keeps people interested in what you have to say. So you'll see throughout everything I do, there's lots of punchy talk. Tired of seeing a new comment, then realize it's stupid spam? This one silly trick will rid you of spam comments for good. So we've got the very end benefit, you'll be rid of spam, and with the very first part of this, I'm creating an image for my readers. I'm painting the picture. They get a new comment, maybe they get a notification in their email box, they think, cool, I've got a new comment, and then they see it's a spam comment. They immediately feel that frustration, they're familiar with it, so I draw it out and I paint the picture, and then I tell them that's going to change. You're not going to face that frustration anymore. Last bullet, outsmart the hackers. This critical step will make your site unhackable. End result. No spam takeover, and now I'm further detailing that end result so they can get the clear picture. What does unhackable mean? No spam takeover, no loss of sales, and no deletion of all your hard work. Notice how that is my last bullet, and that really explicitly says what all of these steps are going to do for them. Their hard work will be safe. So for those who like to read through those bullets and get a clear sense of what exactly they're getting, they would read through here, and then they would go over here to your opt-in form, which my client's going to pop in, and they would sign up to be on his list. And at the very bottom, I thank them for their business. Of course, this page is short and to the point. And just a note, even though I don't have an opt-in form in here yet, I'm sure you want to have a clean, professional-looking opt-in form with a reminder that you respect your customers or list subscribers' privacy. And now let's quickly go over some of the main tips. So just to summarize some of the main things we talked about, make sure to always include an attention-grabbing headline for the obvious reasons you want to keep somebody interested in your page. And a couple of easy tips to do that are including words like you and how to, making sure you use punchy language like we mentioned earlier. Another thing you want to remember to do is consider the order people read. And a really good way to test that is on yourself. Have your squeeze page sit aside for a day or 2 days, really the longer the better, and then look at it with what I like to call fresh eyes and pay attention to the order that you look at things on the page, because it may not always be conventionally left to right, and then use that to order the things you want to tell your visitors in the most compelling way possible. Another important thing to include are service statements, things you will or your product will do for them. They don't want to hear about the work, your strategy is going to give them or anything like that. What will it do for them? Make sure that your product has a lot of high perceived value to it. If you're offering a video review course, consider getting it transcribed, so you could also offer PDFs and vice versa. The more stuff, the higher the value. As I mentioned earlier, be sure to use punchy, interesting language. That's just to be interesting, compelling, keep your readers on the page. And lastly, make sure you always include the end results. not the ultimate things your readers will receive from getting your product, or the things they will miss out on if they don't get your product, and the end reasons why they will regret not signing up to be on your list and getting whatever product you're offering on your squeeze page. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this
Hey guys, I am so excited to take a few minutes out to talk to you about the launch of Six Figure Sales Letter. If you don't know me, hi, my name is Laura Catella and I am the happy copywriter responsible for multiple WSOs of the day, JVZoo products of the day, ClickBank #1 sales letters, and millions of dollars in sales for my clients. And I've been pestered to put out a product for years now, but it has taken me so long to A, finally have the time, and B, put together everything I know that results in consistent, out-of-the-park success with sales letters. And that's what I've finally done for you guys, intermediate marketers, expert marketers, complete newbies, aspiring copywriters, product creators, whatever you do. If you are at all involved in marketing, sales, and branding, I have created this for you. So on December 3rd, with the release of Six Figure Sales Letter, I will be first of all case studying a sales letter that did $107,000 in sales, wait for it, over 3 days. So if you're interested in a launch with that sort of immediate profit potential, I highly suggest you check out Six Figure Sales Letter. These are going to be in-depth video case studies where you watch over my shoulder and you watch me explain everything that I do and why I do it. But beyond that, I'm also going to show you how these principles apply to your entire branding and positioning strategy and why they're so important. But that's only the beginning, because along with the case study, you will receive my untemplate. Why an untemplate? Because as you probably noticed, when you use a template, you run the risk of sounding like everybody else who's ever used the template. So with my untemplate, you'll be given fun, easy questions to answer that you're going to be able to build your sales material, video sales letters, autoresponder series, JV contact pages, all of that stuff from answering these questions, and the material will be fun and unique to you. Then you will receive my guts, which is something totally unique that I developed because of my experience with buying products. So maybe you've felt this way too, that you'll read some sales copy and the bullet points that of what you're gonna learn and take from the product are really scintillating and compelling, right? And they cause you to buy the product. And then you get the product and maybe you feel like there's a mismatch between what those bullet points claims and what was inside the product. I've definitely felt that way before. So in order to obliterate that shred of doubt or the potential for that, I am giving you my guts, which goes through word by word, detail by detail, each of the bullet points that are going to be within the copy for Six Figure Sales Letter, and breaks them down and answers those questions and gets everything crystal clear so you can use this stuff in your business going forward and make more money. But that's still not it. Because this is my first launch, and honestly guys, I want it to be huge and amazing, and I want everyone to take so much away from this, I am personally going to critique a piece of sales material for free for everybody who invests in Six Figure Sales Letter on December 3rd. As you can see, that is a $500 value, and I sell many of them at $500 a pop, but I wanted to personally ensure your success with Six Figure Sales Letter and ensure that you learn these copywriting techniques so they improve your business forevermore. And that is why I will personally shoot a video critique and jump on a Skype call with you, if you like, about a piece of your sales material completely for free when you invest in Six Figure Sales Letter. I guarantee, I almost feel crazy doing it now that I'm saying it out loud, and I guarantee that I will never do this again because I am simply too busy. So if you are interested in any or all of that stuff, please sign up for notifications, videos from me, sneak peeks, I'm going to be giving away review copies of Six Figure Sales Letter, including the critique bonus as we lead up to the launch, but you've got to be signed up to be eligible for that so I can contact you. So go ahead and sign up. And if you have any questions, please ask. I would be thrilled and honored to answer them. And again, look out for December 3rd and the launch of Laura Catella's Six Figure Sales Letter. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.
What up, everybody? I wanted to talk to you really quickly about one of the big takeaways I got from Breakout 2013 that I have already used to make me more money. Breakout 2013 was a different type of live marketing event held in Fort Lauderdale, Florida by Dr. Ben Atkins, Colin Theriot, Tim Castleman, Robert Stukes, Ryan McKinney, Donald Wilson. Did I forget anybody? It was different because aside from being very focused on the networking, which I really enjoyed, the speakers, when they did speak, would talk much more advanced type strategies, like worthwhile stuff actually to sit and listen to, things that they're doing in their own businesses right now, as opposed to, oh, go write an ebook and sell it on the Warrior Forum. One of the main takeaways I got was that as a copywriter with a really good portfolio, I found that I still wasn't being paid enough by my clients. And one of the things I have changed to immediately be paid more and in effect double my rates was to first quote my prospective client with a large package and a high price, because we can always work down from there. I first pitched a prospective client this way today, and I quoted them with all of the bells and whistles they would need to launch their software, and they couldn't afford it. That was too expensive for them to invest right now. So I asked them, which of these elements is most important to you? They went on to ask me which elements I thought were most important, and I told them, and I ended up giving them a much smaller package, but I got paid much more for that small package than I've ever been paid before. So something that I probably would have made about $1,500 on, I'm now making about $3,000 on. So that's totally awesome, all because the positioning and the perspective and the perceived value of my offer is different, since I was at first unaffordable. And by positioning myself as a strategist in this way, somebody who knows you need all of this stuff, I come off as a good business person. My client even told me that. He's like, now I know who to go to arrange my deals. So he feels my authority just in the way I delivered that pitch, which is super cool. So something like that, you may hear it and you may think, oh yeah, duh, I already know that. Start high and work my way down. But it's those exact things that once you actually go on to implement and do, you'll see how dramatically they can affect your business. Another thing I did was, before I even sent that initial email with the large package and high quote, was I looked through it and I upped all my prices. So I initially charged $7,000 for that large package, and I was like, nope, make it 8. So I literally just deleted the 7 and turned it into an 8. So that's how easy it is to start implementing a strategy like this. Another huge quick takeaway I got from Tim Castleman and Dr. Ben Atkins particularly was to go ahead and launch my own product, and it is going to be so awesome. I've already had the product like mostly developed, but I felt, nervous and self-doubt, and I didn't want to charge a low price. All of that has been switched. I am full throttle. I am so amped and full of energy about it, and I'm not going to charge a low price. So that's totally awesome. I'm thrilled. Those are just 2 of the things I got, in addition to meeting so many awesome, like-minded, and fun marketers, and having a great time making those connections with people. So I hope there's a Breakout 2014. I'll certainly go, and thank you so much for watching this video. Bye.
YouTube thinks it knows you super duper well. They think you know which video you should watch next. Click over and see if they were right. I'll see you over there.